Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video and welcome to a POV commentary of Malphite. So I played this game earlier today, obviously bulk recording. Might be a dad by the time this video comes out. I believe this video would have been uploaded, or is being uploaded around 23rd, 24th of December. So I know some countries obviously celebrate Christmas a bit earlier, so I was going to say happy Christmas, hope you have a good one. There will be 2 videos a day uploaded all through the festive period. I'm working my butt off right now, and hopefully there will be 2 videos uploaded every day, even during my full paternity leave. That's kind of why I'm working as much as I am at the moment. So, you know, hopefully you're enjoying it. If you appreciate that, please do throw a like on it. It does help out. So, worth mentioning, Malphite. Malphite is overpowered. There's not really another word for it. But this game specifically will kind of highlight how strong he is. Now, obviously, you know, I do a POV commentary when it doesn't go well, especially in the early. So there is a reason that I kind of didn't continue doing a live commentary. But I never stopped thinking that we could win this game. So, you know, spoiler. But, you know, if you're looking at Malphite, you look at the enemy team. The title of this video probably is something like why you don't play full AD versus Malphite. You know, it's made even more apparent at the moment with how kind of overpowered Malphite is. Now, for those that are wondering why is he, I'm not really sure, but like I played 3 games of Malphite today, and he just feels like a god in every game. And if I'm not playing him, someone else is playing him, whether it be top or jungle, and he just becomes a monster. It's high damage with then basically being unkillable. It's the ultimate combo. You can't kill me and I'll kill all of you. So the enemy team is full AD. It's worth mentioning because obviously we did learn after the fact a little bit about this game. The enemy Darius had ultimate counter pick. He had the last pick in the champ select. I guessed he was going to be Darius. I remember because again it's literally early today. But in champ select, obviously if you hover your champion, it shows it to the enemy team in champ select. It's kind of the negative of hovering a champion almost, because if you hover a champion and then trade with an opponent, but like let's say you hover a champion, let's say it's your turn to pick and you're hovering Darius, and meanwhile Darius, by the way, pushes in, goes for an invade, and unfortunately for me the Silas just really misplays it. I don't know why. He reacted really slowly to it, and yeah, annoying that a Darius invades, I get that and I sympathize, but it's a Darius in the early game. I can't, as a Malphite, do much about that. You just needed Silas to actually react well. Darius does use flash for it, but Silas, basically he just flashed a bit too late. So Darius now with red buff, which obviously is a negative for me. I'm gonna walk out. I think I do flash in the end, and I do, because again the red buff slow gets his passive up. So again, bit of an annoying start, so that kind of adds to you know, beginning of the game as it were, but we didn't die. The enemy team is full AD with, I think it's Darius, then Hecarim, and Yasuo, then Tristana, and then obviously an Alistar who doesn't do any damage. Obviously Silas is a champion at the moment. I would say Silas might be officially, and the enemy team get the 3 kills. Silas goes down again. Silas might be the most overpowered champion in the game overall right now. I definitely think he's up there. But what that basically does is worth mentioning, and I'll continue the point I was making before in a second. But a lot of people who don't play Silas at all, who are just randomly going, he's overpowered, I'll give him a go. That's a lot of people at the moment who are playing him. More overpowered champions do attract just everyone. So Hecarim is doing counter jungling. Kind of guessed he would, but unfortunately I can't really do much to him because he just runs away. So yeah, we'll return to top lane. But the point I was making before, if you're hovering a champion in champ select, and let's say it's, you know, no one's traded with you, so it's your turn to pick a champion and you're hovering, the opponent sees that. They see what champion you're hovering, and that's what happened this game. So basically what happened is he was hovering, and Silas once again is dead, by the way. Not sure why he's going for an invade when he's like that far behind. So I do report him because like it's just mental how bad that is. But anyway, obviously this is where the game is 0-6, obviously going very bad, but sorry, I'm getting distracted. Triple kill for Tristana. Basically what happened is he hovered Darius, but then clearly he then traded with the Tristana, and then Tristana, obviously they traded the pick, but then I was like, oh, there was a Darius hover, so the likelihood is this person's going to play Darius, because I saw a Darius being hovered. And that's exactly what happened. So I locked in Malphite. They were already full AD. And then lo and behold, the Darius picked Darius like I was expecting him to. And if you're wondering, like, why the hell would he pick Darius? His team is full AD. He's got counter pick. And I decided to mute team, by the way. I would recommend doing that in frustrating games. But why would you pick it? You're making your team absolutely full AD. He's a one-trick Darius. And that's usually the answer. You know, a one-trick is a one-trick. So he is just going to play what he only can play. So what... And you can see Geofighter in the chat in the bottom left there going, they had one job, not feed. And that is literally the true point. Is I knew deep down in this game... And good steal by the Silas. But I knew if we get to mid to late game in this match, I basically, as a Malphite, I can win the game basically by myself. I know I can. Because if I get 500, 600, 700 armor, which is possible for a Malphite, what are they going to do to me? Like, that's the thing. What are they going to do? So Darius is having a little bit of a fight with me. But he got a bit cocky, and we get a solo bolo. And that's the thing. That right there kind of perfectly shows Malphite. Darius is a lane bully. You know, most people in this, watching this video or whatever, would go, God, Darius is one of the lane bullies, one of the like a really annoying, you know, fighting champions of top lane. He wins a lot of lanes by default. Yeah, we just walked over him. You know, he did not begin that fight thinking he lost that fight. I put it that way. He was being a Darius. I'm going in. I'm going to fight you. There's nothing you can do about any. I just turn around and go, you're dead. That's Malphite right now. He is too strong, and I will say that right now. He is too strong. But yeah. So Zed, from memory, by the way, really bad flash. Again, this is where sometimes, you can tell I was in a bit of a mood. But that's just a stupid... Like, in Master, people should know better than that. There's a Hecarim nearby. You're seeing a Hecarim. The Yone's behind you. You just take the death. And this is what I was pointing out. So my team right now is 0-4, 0-2, 0-2, 0-2. And I've got the one kill solo in the game. But again, a nice shutdown though for Jhin. At least they did something now in bot lane. But the one thing I will say, and meanwhile Yasuo is here, so this is 3 people top lane. The enemy team is continuously just trying, I guess, to bully the Silas. I can't remember off the top of my head if there's any duo going on. But yeah, some weird plays with what's going on here. Like 3 people top lane killing a Silas. And, you know, you could understand partial grouping, the grubs have spawned, so there's probably grouping going on for that. But all 3 is a bit excessive. Like, I don't know if they 100% knew that was Silas, or were they coming 3 people for me in top lane? I don't know. It's a bit weird, but the one thing I would say is I never gave up in this game. Trist is unfortunately 2v1 tower diving. Zed does get his way into bot lane, so he does get a shutdown, and that's very good for Zed. But I think I was continuing the point is Zed wanted Yasuo, I think, from memory. He was hovering Yasuo, and Yasuo got picked by mid on the enemy team. So I think he might have been a Yasuo player who got picked against. So it was a bit of a messy game overall. Enemy team obviously does get the 3 grubs. And, you know, we're doing perfectly fine so far in this match. So, you know, the one thing I would say about Darius players, they're fairly predictable. You know, like that. I knew he was in the bush. I knew he'd probably open with a Q. Like, there are some champions in League, you know, that are more predictable than others, less predictable than others. For the most part, and here's another, by the way, solo bolo, bonk. Darius players practically all play the same. Like, partially it's because there's only one way really to play Darius, and, you know, will I play like it when I play Darius? Probably. You initiate, you play aggressive because that's what Darius gives your feeling. But a Darius main / one trick is going to play like it all the time. Like, that is their identity, is that if that's all they play, they're going to play like that. More than even, let's say, someone like me that jumps on Darius every now and then. So I can kind of use that to my advantage almost, because you know what he's going to do. You know, oh, he's walked into a bush. Right, what's the Darius going to do? He's going to open probably looking for damage, so he's probably going to open with his Q. Stuff like that is kind of how you can counter him. So that's now 2 solo kills on a Darius as a Malphite in the kind of, let's say, early game. So still not looking good as a game overall, but, you know, it's at least we've got some kills on the board. I've got 2, and then my team has got a few as well. So yeah, overall, it's not too bad. I was still, by the way, you know, at this point, obviously I probably stopped doing the live commentary But what I do, and I've made it the point very clear a lot of the time, what I do in situations like this is I stop commentating, I put music on, and I don't give up. Like, I very rarely will actively give up on a game, especially when there's a win con. If you watched the Heimer game a couple days ago, probably I think it would have been, you know, I will focus on 1 point if the game isn't going very well. So in that Heimer game, it was, oh, they have a Lucian army. Lucian's going to do nothing later. We can win. This is, oh, and then, by the way, that was a mistake by me. But the Darius makes a mistake. He should have auto-attacked me one more time. And by the way, what you're about to see here is filthy. Like, I'm on 20 health. My passive will come up, which gives me a bit of a bonus, because obviously it gives me the shield. Look at Darius, so look at mine. We open with ulti, we go slap, slap, slap. Oh, he's dead. And by the way, like, that's a Darius thing. Like, no other top laner really would have been looking there. Like, they would have just gone, right, he survived, that's annoying, we're going to do the farm. But a Darius player can't let it go. A Darius player wants to just play so aggressive by default. They cannot let it go. So yeah, I will say, like, did I 100% know that Darius was going to die there? No, it was close. I knew it was a good chance I could kill him because he didn't have ultimate and stuff like this. But even I was a bit surprised that I just walked over that then. So overall, it's going very well. But yeah, like I said, you know, oh, I just banked my own ghastly. Ow. What would I say in this game obviously was the point that I could hone in on? Well, very obviously, the enemy team's full AD and I'm playing Malphite. Like, that is the thing to hone in. And how many times have you seen a Darius be lane bullied away from top lane against a tank? Again, partially it's because Malphite is too strong, but also we have outplayed him. You know, I think where a lot of people would play this matchup and they would basically give so much respect to a Darius, you don't have to. Like, I've shown that you can actually fight them quite well, but that's what I think a Darius would more or less get used to. Is most champions would go, I'm not even going to try and fight you, man, just you do you. But when you're playing something like Malphite, you can actually fight. So unfortunately, some more deaths on my team. You know, I do have teleport. The one thing I would say, little tip if you're looking to pick up Malphite, especially right now with his being strong, there's no point getting involved. There's no point TPing really if you don't have ultimate. Malphite fundamentally, and I would say, I don't know what the hell happened to this Hecarim in this moment. Brain lag? I don't know. Like, he went for a little bit of a fight on me. Silas comes in, Hecarim ultimates in, and boom, there's the ultimate. Darius throws his ultimate, and then look, Hecarim's got 0 mana. Slappy, slappy, we get another shutdown. I've got no idea where Hecarim did that. Like, maybe there was a world, and by the way, nice recovery in mid. So this is where the game is starting to turn around a little bit. But I genuinely don't know why the Hecarim went for that play. If I had to guess, he was looking for a gank on me, but I kind of saw it coming. So, you know, I didn't walk, like, some maybe people would have just gone straight to the tower, and I would have been really overextended, and then they can 2v1 me. But I kind of thought, oh, someone could be top lane, so that's where I went, okay, is Darius coming up from river? I'll go put a ward there. And Hecarim still went for it, and then, yeah, lo and behold, the Silas came for a gank, and boom. So, like, it was very weird, and Hecarim had no mana, basically, to actually go for the fight. So, very odd decisions. You can definitely tell I'm starting strength-wise. You know, I'm very strong already in this game. And, you know, we have 1 item complete. And the one thing I would say, even though this Silas had a god-awful early game, as I said earlier, a lot of people are probably playing Silas who normally don't because the champion is overpowered. And they may make a lot of basic errors because of that. And look at this Hecarim, by the way. Mental boom might be happening. Hecarim players are among the ragiest mental boom players in League. So can't say I'm too surprised. He dies again instantly. So I finished my Thorn Mail. I'm teleporting back to the top. Obviously, I'm going to go the armor boots. But continue the point I was going to make. And by the way, this is a 3-man dive. Unfortunately for me, I go for a nice ulti. But because of how fed the Tristana is, they kill the tower. So annoyingly, this is where my team having a bad game does impact me. Because if that wasn't as fed as a Trist, I'd do so much damage in a 3v1. But if that Trist was just not as fed, she has 2.5 items at 15 minutes into the game. If she only had 1 item there, which is what Jhin has, they wouldn't have killed the tower nowhere near as quickly, and that probably could have turned into a pretty good fight for me. Because she has 2.5 items at 15 minutes, the tower just blew up. So it is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. That's my first death of the game. And would it be nice if I at least killed the Darius there? But obviously, item build, you can see Max GP plays in the bottom left saying, you know, does Randuin's a Frozen Heart have a shared passive? I think we did find out in this game they don't, which is good, because they are two perfect items for this game. Like, they've got a Yasuo and a Tristana who are crit-based. Frozen Heart obviously also reduces attack speed. So both of those items are in my future. Like, the luxury, I would say, of the enemy team's draft is one, I'm playing Malphite, the armor champion of League of Legends. He benefits from armor more than practically any other champion in the game. And that's where, like, if it was a Gwen top lane or something AP top lane, there's a bit of me that would go, oh, I have to have a little bit of MR. I don't need a single ounce of MR this game. I can go full armor every single item. And that is a luxury on Malphite. Normally, there is a 1 AP champion, and you're like, okay, I need to buy 1 AP item. But I don't even need to do that. So I will say, I make a mistake with that ulti. Again, I was hoping we could have caught out the Hecarim before he ulted away. But at the end of the day, it's a Hecarim. Like, you know, he's one of League's slipperiest, quickest champions. Sylas does finish off the kill. And, you know, so far, hey, this fight's going pretty good. But I think it does turn a little bit. Darius is now coming through. Tristana, unfortunately, also didn't die. I'm slappy, and I'm going to try my best, but Darius is, I think, getting close to ulting me. He does. Cheese Wheel, I do get the kill, but then there's a Yasuo left alive and a Tristana left alive, and unfortunately, in a very immobile Jhin, can't do anything. And Zed maybe could have fought a little bit more than he did, but I think he just wanted to not die, so he just ran away, which, maybe he could have, but he, you can kind of respect him being as low as he was. He didn't want to. So that's where I would say mistake from me, my ulti there. If I replayed that fight in a different way, I would not have ulted a Hecarim that had not ulted yet, because it wasn't a guarantee. I think my ultimate technically may have hit the Hecarim, but it's basically his ultimate animation went off, so he still got away. Yes, Sylas got the kill after it, but me ulting this fed Tristana would be way more useful. Like, that's the thing, it would be. And I think from this moment in the game, I kind of was like, yeah, let's not do that again. You take a mental note of when you make a mistake like that, and you go, right, not do that again. Prioritize on an ultimate on a target that makes a lot more sense. So I decided to walk to bot lane. Now, there is a chance the enemy team could do Rift Herald right now, and I do know that, in my head, I've got teleport in 30 seconds. So I'm basically hoping that the enemy team, what the enemy team should try and do it right now. The moment that they see me in bot lane, I am one of the problems that they have being full armor Malphite. So they do it, which I'm a bit like, but I don't even know if we were in a position to go for a really big fight there. We have zero vision around that side of the map. I'm going to go for a tier 1 tower. Hecarim going for a bonkers ultimate, by the way. Again, I don't remember the Hecarim stats specifically this match, but majority of Hecarims are like one tricks. He's a very also high Smurf rate champion. For those that are wondering, like, why is always Smurfs love Hecarim jungle? He's not hard to play, and he has such high tempo. So I do go back. You can see a surrender vote is trying to happen. Jhin is being hunted down by the Tristana. And I remember there's another mistake here, by the way. I go for an ulti. I don't even know what happened. I think Alistair W bonked the Tristana into our base. So unfortunately, I waste my ultimate again. And now Hecarim is chasing me down. I cheese wheel it, but I don't think a kill's going to come from it. But yeah, so it's a bit of an annoying game. I'm like, Zed, please kill that. I don't know if Zed would have had his W available, but yeah, that was not great to let the Hecarim crash that. I really don't think we should have let that happen, but it is what it is. Again, mistakes do happen. But yeah, Darius obviously has had a terrible game, so he's just going for the I'm split pushing, which again, I've said for a while, every single roll, and Darius is going to die here by overstaying, and this, look at that heal. Big heal, but he should still die. Every roll, when they don't have a great game, will default to a certain playstyle. It's not a bad thing. The only role that can't really default to a playstyle is AD carry. So like top lane, if you've had a bad game in top lane, you split. You just go for tier 2 towers, and that's how you try and be useful. If you're having a bad game in the jungle, you do objectives. If you are having a bad game in mid lane, guess what? You go to side lane, you help the AD carry. You're playing support, you're having a bad game, well, you just basically play support. Meanwhile, Nautilus goes for quite a bad engage here. I've got ultimate up, which is nice. Zed's coming for a TP. We've got Jhin ultimate, so I'm going to chase down the Nautilus, kill the Nautilus, which is very nice. But yeah, the one role that I can't think of, like how, if you're having a bad game on it, how can you be better? Realistically, big Malphite ultimate with a Alistar knockup straight after. But yeah, I don't see how if when an AD, and that's I think why AD carries a lot of them complain a lot, is because other roles when they're having quite a bad game, they do have a different play style that they can try and achieve. Well, not a different one, but they have a thing that they can do. If an AD carries goes split push, they're trolling. If an AD carry goes, I'm not going to get involved, I'm just going to do objectives, well, they can't do that. Like, that's the thing, an AD carry has to be involved, you know, to be an actual AD carry. So I decide, by the way, here just to teleport straight back. I don't have ultimate, and, you know, I did say earlier, oh, if you don't have ulti, but I did notice the Darius, again, who's played pretty bad this game, he just stayed bot lane for no reason. Again, I don't know if he was tilted, I don't know what. He's popped Ghost, by the way, but that's just all 5 of us get the kill. All 5 of us, which may seem excessive, but it's not, because Atakan, like the Darius should expect everyone to be near bot lane. The Atakan is alive. It's not 25 minutes. There's not a Baron. You know, if there was Baron there and he's driven 5 people down, you could argue, okay, yeah, they might kill me, get Atakan, but we also get Baron. That is not even a situation. Now, unfortunately, Hecarim gets the steal. Sylas doesn't even smite it, I don't believe. Very annoying. And again, that's the thing. The Sylas has recovered his very early game, but he is still not playing well. He is just being an overpowered Sylas. I go for an ultimate on the Tristana. We basically just one shot basically the Triss. You can't really do much. And that's the thing, like I said, you can have a bad game on something like Sylas, but because of how overpowered he is, very, very hard to keep a Sylas down. Even a Sylas that can't really play it. He is just innately giga strong at the moment. And to be fair, not even at the moment, a lot of the time Sylas is a very strong character. There are a group of characters that are always in that pretty strong bracket. Part of it is their design, just their innate design. Part of it's the meta. Part of it's the solo queue nature of the game. You know, why does Karina always seem really good? Because she's a perfect solo queue champion. You know, part of it is that as well. High tempo champions tend to do better in solo queue than slow tempo champions. But yeah, we are doing very well. We're 7-2-8. We've got the dragon. Once again, the Darius has overstayed in bot lane by himself when dragon is available. So yeah, we do lose Atacam, but it is what it is. We get another kill. The Darius is 3-8. Like, I don't know. Like, the Darius dying solo to me a bunch. Overstaying quite often. It's just weird. And again, like I said, I think if I had to guess, tilt I think will be a factor. You have to remember, at one stage this game, the enemy team had so many more kills than us. Like, it wasn't even close. We have now taken the kill lead. And this will, by the way, because of, you know, they are full AD. And it is worth mentioning, it's not just the Malphite, and that's, by the way, is a Tristana flash. It's not just a Malphite. You know, I am very strong, and they can't really kill me very easily. And if they do kill me, then, you know, basically my whole team can kill them while they're killing me. But my team can also prioritize armor as well. Like, the Alistar probably has a bunch of armor. You know, that's the thing. When you're a full AD comp, it completely negates any choice, really, for us. We just go, right, we want to buy a defensive item, armor. And that's just the default, because they're full AD. That's why you don't, you know, when it comes to comps, that's why you do want a bit of a balanced comp. You want a bit of AP, you want a bit of AD, because it makes item building harder for the opponents. This game, for me, I've got 558 armor right now. You can see Jeebers in the bottom left is joking that, you know, not even 500. We've broken 500. By the way, that does become a theme throughout the rest of this video, because the armor goes up a lot more. Enemy team going for a desperate flank play, by the way. Not really sure what this is about. Darius goes for a weird play. Triple ulti on top of the Tristana and the Yasuo. Honestly, the Yasuo is just being ping-ponged up and down. He literally couldn't do a single thing, and he died. That then is a Jhin finishing off, and that's an ace. They can't do anything. Now, it was, I will say, a very bad engage by the Darius and the Hecarim, but none of us died. If you look, the Sylas, the Zed, and the Jhin are basically full health. I had a lot of the brunt, you could say. I'm 3/4 health. The lowest person on our team was an Alistair support. This is where, like, we are just starting to take over quite easily. So we're going to go for the Baron. You know, could we have pushed and gotten maybe an inhib? Yeah, but we can just get the Baron at low risk. You know, we did have Atakan stolen. Well, now there's no chance of it being stolen. So we may as well take it. And we can then, you know, now go for inhibs if we wanted to. I'm finally going to kill this tower. This tower's been bugging me for a while. So that goes down, gets us 250 gold plus 50. So that is 300 gold, which is very nice. If I'm not mistaken, the 50 plus gold, again, I think it's technically from last hitting a tower, I think. But because I'm Baroned up and I'm applying Baron buff to minions, I think it counts as my last hit, I think. With selling the Doran's ring, also Doran's items, again, you typically don't want to sell until either, you know, mid to late game, or it is benefiting you more than it's having. And buying a Frozen Heart outright there, it benefits me more having it. So Darius once again is going for an odd engage on me. Hecarim's ulting in, and boom, another 3-man ulti. Darius gets a nice heal off. I think Zed does go down in the end, but it's fine. We then kill a few more of the enemy, and then I think I go for a flash cheese wheel. We slow the Hecarim, and just reminding everyone, Hecarim directly gets stronger, more AD per his movement speed. So me queuing the Hecarim, which applies a slow, will directly make him weaker, because not just from the movement speed, his damage will go down. Now, again, I'm very tanky, but my god, without minions, you don't do any tower damage. So I'm like, let's not do that. I thought maybe we could have. Nope, without minions, you don't do any tower damage. So that, by the way, is to stop kind of like exactly what you just saw there. Someone with 700 armor tanking a tower. And you know, you could basically ignore PvP and just flank and just take towers. I don't want that gameplay because that's not the best gameplay. So yeah. So what I'm thinking here, by the way, is I'm going to keep building armor. So some people may go, were you not tempted to go, you know, Malignance this game for your ulti? No. I am doing more damage as a full armor tank that is in the middle of a fight than I will ever do with a single AP item. But a little bit of damage wouldn't be bad. So in my mind, I was like, what's a little bit of damage that still gives me armor? Iceborne. It's a Sheen item, and Sheen items help you do damage. Tristana gets caught, by the way, mid-jump. Alistair cancels her. But yeah, a Sheen item does give me damage. It actually gives me more slows, and it gives me more armor. So me and Yasuo are going to have a bit of a tussle here. Let's see how close this is. He does get rid of my cheese wheel. The Q, I do call it a cheese wheel, by the way, because it looks like a cheese wheel. And yeah, this is the thing. Like, I'm slappy. Slappy. Alistair steals my kill. You know, a bit annoying, but that by the way is how close the fight is between a Yasuo and a, you know, 550 plus armor Malphite. It ain't close, put it that way. So I do decide to go back because I was borderline thinking, if the Hecarim is tilted at this stage of the game, which I'm expecting him to be, will he just go top lane and split push and try to break open our base? The answer is no, which actually surprised me. I was expecting that Hecarim would have still been here. So my team, I will say, I'm worried about them partially at the moment because I am obviously the brick wall. I'm 8-18 as a top lane Malphite. So we have been involved in 26 kills this game as a top laner, which is insane. And obviously, you know, I can kill people. They can't kill me realistically. But I think my team overall is okay. Hecarim is once again trying to go in by himself, so he gets killed. But there we go. Like that so far has been a big turnaround. So this is where, like, again, I did stop a live commentary. We hit level 18. I have stopped a live commentary, but like I've always said, I can always do a POV commentary. Like, that's always been my mind, is I always can do, and this is a bit of a desperate move by the enemy team. Boom, I go for a re-engage, by the way, because, like, why not? And then Tristana ults me away. So I nearly one-shot her. Again, just reminding everyone, we're nearly one-shotting an AD carry without any AP, because you just don't need the ability power. Tristana now flashes. I'm going to continue under the tower. Jhin then gets the kill. Zed helps finish it off, and there we go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why the enemy bot lane went for that crazy engage. They weren't going to kill me. But yeah, so we're at 850 ability power when we don't have, you know, our shreds or anything like that. When our passive is up, they can't do anything. So, like I said, the game. I was continuing my point. The game. I can always do a POV commentary. the game should always be more important than, it's going to sound weird to say, but a video. And if I continue a live commentary, it means my focus, like it always is when I'm live commentating, is less on the game. And when a game gets quite difficult, I need to focus on the game more than anything. So that's where I put music on. I keep trying to win the game. He actually flashed my ulti there, the Darius. I keep trying to win the game, and I put music on, and I just focus on the game. And again, I think that sometimes is the better thing to do. Would I have done as well this game if I continued to try and live commentate? I don't know if I would have, but I really focused up. I end the game, and there we go. So we get plus 50. I think my whole team might have died at the end. I think I was the only one left hitting the base, and obviously the enemy team, as not surprising, didn't focus me because they can't kill me, so why would you focus me? But that was a really nice game in the end. Again, the Silas's performances was very bad at the beginning. We get plus 20, so that gets us to 174. We're hovering, I will say at the moment, you know, around 150 to 200 LP, which, by the way, I am fine with. We went 8-2, 22, 41,000 damage, the highest damage in the game. Yeah, we had a great one. You know, my lane opponent, Darius, the beast that is Darius in laning, did 18,000 damage. Malphite's very strong right now, so again, do take that into consideration. But we also played it really well. You know, that's the thing, we did. You know, not many Malphites would have actively taken fights against the Darius and actually killed him a few times when you realize you can. Because most people would just go, I'm just not going to fight a Darius here. But overall, a really fantastic game in the end. Hopefully, you know, this shows how strong Malphite, is. He's bonkers right now. I am expecting, you know, the first patch of the year, which brings in all the new season changes. Probably some nerfs, but if it doesn't, play Malphite, everyone. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys, and next time, goodbye.
Welcome to the Rift, where the legends play. It's HuzzyGames bringing skill every day. From tips to tricks and play so fine. You'll learn the game and have a good time. Thanks for watching, you're the real MVP. Hit that like and sub, join the family tree. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep the Huzzy dream alive. Tune in on Twitch, it's the place to be. HuzzyGames, let's go hang with me. So hit that bell, don't